there are a number of considerations before the board tonight, as I see it, and that is the board has to consider maintaining current policy, discontinuing adherence to Title IX case law or policy or law, or find a solution somewhere in the middle, or compromise or other actions. I can't speak for the other board members. However, during this discussion and deliberation, again, as a reminder, the board is bound by its ethics and code of conduct policies, as stated earlier, and may not speak unless recognized by the board chair. I want to ensure that every board member gets an opportunity to make their case or discuss their feelings on this or where they stand, and I'm open to recommendations how we proceed. This is not a simple decision, you know that, and you also know that there's a lot to consider, even if new policy is provided or submitted or recommended. That policy still needs full review by the board, by legal, and also needs one reading, or at least needs 2 readings for approval. So my point is we are not going to get to that degree tonight. I'm just going to look to the board as we listen to discussion as to maybe where they're leaning and other considerations. So again, I'm going to start out. I'm just going to give my points. I'll give each board member an opportunity to speak on their behalf. And then depending on what that discussion is, we'll move forward with the next plan of action. So with that, I'm going to begin. As I said already, this is a complicated matter to unravel. This wasn't I don't believe it was the duty of the school board to determine the actions of state or federal law. That's not in our wheelhouse. And again, I'm just expressing my opinion like everybody else got to. While there are clear differences of opinion, I know one thing that is consistent in this room, and that is community feedback is consistent with and advocates access to more unisex bathrooms. Both sides, whether you like it, whether you're against or not, the idea of more restrooms and more accommodations is the common ground. So instead of looking at it as a divide, let's look at it as a place where we have common ground. Changing the current policy as we've seen it risks negative reputational impact and could lead to broader disruption statewide, nationally, and across other districts. The policy has been in place since 2020, and elected officials have not advanced a resolution, nor has it been an issue until now. I think one person said, why now? This issue should be addressed at the state or federal level rather than placing the burden solely on the District of New Richmond. I take offense to the statement made by Representative Krybeck on February 2nd, 2026, stating the bottom line is that Republican Krybeck, or Representative Krybeck, wants New Richmond schools to be known for their great academics and athletics, not a woke policy that will lead to statewide recognition. Yep. We are better than that, and what happens every day in our school, every student every day, cuts to the core of the magnificent work by our teachers and staff and what they do every single day. All students deserve equal rights. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. Our goal is to be a destination district and not a discrimination district. There are over 31 million individuals in the United States that identify as LGBTQ+, with almost 500,000 of that population living in the Twin Cities metropolitan area, and the largest transgender population in the United States. Okay, that's reality. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but it's the reality. Almost 2% of Gen Z people aged 14 to 29 identify as transgender. These numbers are part of the makeup of our schools and our communities. We live, work, and interact daily, and they are a fabric of our community. They are not dangerous. The district should strive for unity and problem solving, setting a positive example. I challenge this board to find a balanced approach. With that said, I will not support changing the law that promotes discrimination and violates current law, though I'm looking for some place in the middle that protects the rights of all children. Yep. Greg Gardner.
Good evening. Welcome. My name is Greg Gardner. Thank you for all of you who spoke tonight. Greatly appreciated. In the past week and a half since the last meeting, I've spoke to hundreds of people on both sides of this issue. I want to thank each and every one of those people for talking to me. I want to especially acknowledge tonight and acknowledge what happens in high school to all the students that are here. It is a very difficult issue to deal with. I want to also say thank you to our Richmond school staff, teachers, and administration who are trying to navigate this issue. I've been married almost 47 years. My bride's sitting right up there. People know me probably think, how could she have tolerated me for 47 years? But she did. I have 4 sons, 4 daughter-in-laws, and I have 12 grandchildren. I've heard some of you tonight a few times and other times saying, what are you old guys doing up there? I'm not an old guy. I'm a young guy. I have 12 beautiful grandchildren, and I'm with them all the time, and I care about them very, very much. I care about every single student in this school district, every student. I originally got on the school board in 2005, stayed for 2 terms, and then I thought, well, 2 terms is enough, I'm done. I didn't run again. Well, then someone resigned from the school board, and I got reappointed back to that position. I've been on there since. With every term that we have in the school board, we have to take an oath of office. And the way I interpret that oath of office is that I care and I want the best for every one of our students. I want the best for every student. Also, we have a financial responsibility to the school. We have fiduciary responsibility. We have to be the stewards of the $49 million budget that we have. And we have to spend it in the best way we can. And we also take a law, our oath that says we are going to follow the law. At every school board meeting, regular meeting, we say the Pledge of Allegiance. What's the last line of the Pledge of Allegiance? Liberty and justice for all. I care about every student, I care about our teachers, I care about all of you. I am so proud that you all came here to talk tonight. It was really impressive. For me, we have to find a short-term solution to this, and we have to find a long-term solution. We have to spend some money, and we have to find a solution that works for everyone. And having it happen immediately is tough, but that's what I want. I want to have everybody comfortable with the solution immediately. I don't want any high school students, any of you high school students that come to school and feel a burden. I don't want anybody to be bullied, harassed. I can't tolerate that. I think everybody is created by God, and I think that we all have our place here. So I want this to be fixed for all of you, all the students here, and for all the students coming, and I want it to be fixed for my grandchildren. In regards to the people I talk to people on both sides. I don't even know a lot of the people I talk to, but I will tell you that after talking to them, I understand the feelings both ways. A few people were absolutely really tough to deal with. They are really saying such derogatory things going either way. It's really sad. I've lived in Richmond since 1966 when I was in 3rd grade. I don't want our town to be at each other. I want our town to work together. We all have to work together to get a solution to this. And we live in the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest democracy, but we have to work together. We all have to get together. So I want to fix this issue and do it as soon as I can, as soon as we can. So thank you.
Who would like to speak next? Tim Hewitts.
Yes, my name is Tim Kufis. I am a Richmond school board member, and I'm proud to be up here. I echo a lot of Greg's sentiments that we just got to hear him say tonight. I took an oath of office that I take very seriously. I want to follow the law in my professionally, personally, and as an elected official. I know there keeps coming up this idea that it's 99 against 1, and we don't have the luxury of just worrying about 1 or 99. We need to worry about 100% of the students in our school. And I am gonna, I guess personally, I'm gonna be requesting options. Short-term, long-term, I want to know what's been done so far. I want to know what can be done by the end of the school year so that all kids are able to come to school and feel safe. 1 through 100%. And that is how I feel. Thank you.
My name is Neil Melby. I've been a resident of this area since 1940. All of my siblings have graduated through the school district. There's been a millions in the school district every decade since 1940. I'm very proud of the school district. We've done as much as we can to educate our kids, to get them on the right career path for their lives. I'm glad that you all could come and express yourself. I'm sad, though, about some of the hatred and the vitriol that's going on. These are our kids. We feel for all of these kids. I have 2 grandchildren in the school system, and they love the school district. They love their coming to school. They also talk about the hatred that the kids have for each other in some of these instances. And we have to have that stop, and that comes from us as adults. We have to help our kids learn to live together and not to be at each other's throats, so to speak, and try to make them feel ashamed. Suicide rate is a real problem, and we have to help these kids, and we should feel that way, all of us as adults. I agree with what the guys have said here. I think we have solutions that are available. It's just going to take time to work these things out. We can't just ignore the law because that's part of what we all do. We live by laws. And even though the judges interpret those things, we have to live with what they give us. So to try to make changes, it's going to take time, and we have to convince our legislators to be able to change the laws. But it is a solution that is available, but we have to find the solutions for all those things. And the same thing that's been said all the way through here is that we have to love each other and not hate. But I feel hate amongst the groups that are here today, and we should not be doing that. We must love each other and care for each other. So Mr. Schaefer, I think we need to find some solutions. I don't know if we can make any decisions tonight about these things. We need to work it out with administration and with our finance people and all that. But there are solutions, and we will find them.
Thank you, Dr. Melby. So don't forget Board Member Durst, she's still on Zoom, she's still with us?
I'm here, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you, Marilyn, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Marilyn Durst, I've lived in Richmond since 1990, so that's quite a few years. 3 of our 6 daughters did graduate from the Richmond High School, and they were very happy here with the educational standards that we have. So, I have a few comments, obviously. The other board members have suggested that there's got to be some solution, and that solution is not easy. I personally believe that, how should I start with this? Okay, one of the solutions might be that of the various bathrooms, restrooms in the schools, one of them could be changed to a unisex bathroom. That anyone could go in there, like boy, girl, or whatever they feel, and that to satisfy or to help all the parents that are worried about their daughters and so on. There could be some restrooms that could remain as girls, biological girls, and some restrooms could be maintained as biological boys. But we would have at least one that would be a unisex, which I think might be satisfactory. It's just a good idea. And the locker rooms, of course, have showers, and that gets more difficult. I think the assembly has passed a law that the locker rooms with the showers should be kept for biological girls should be in girls, and the biological boys should be in the boys. So I don't think but I think we need to work on all sorts of creative solutions to try to make everyone at least somewhat more comfortable.
Thank you very much. Kent, we'll just work our way down the table.
My name is Kent Elkin. Grew up in Hebron, not too far away. Moved to Richmond with my young family in 1989, so I've been here quite a while. Been on the school board for, I guess, around 8 years. And in that time, I can say we've come across some difficult things. We've made some difficult decisions. But the thing I've been the most proud of being on this board is we've always found a way through things. We found a way to compromise. We found a way to come up with a solution. And maybe it's not the first thing we think of, but we always work our way through it. I too want to thank everybody who reached out to the board members who showed up tonight and spoke. We appreciate every one of you, especially the students. I give you a lot of credit. It's really hard to stand up in a room full of adults and say what you feel. So I really, my hat's off to you. I'm not sure I could have done that at your age, so congratulations. There's been a lot of talk about the law. Laws are made by legislators, and when those laws aren't, I'll use the word detailed enough, they kind of get filled in by the courts. And either way, we have to abide by what the law is. With that said, I feel there is a compromise in here somewhere. I think we've got some work to do. I think it's not just a fix for now, it's a fix for going forward. It's just about doing the right thing. I think we should have better access to bathrooms, not just for students, but for visitors. I think we're lacking in that, and I think we need to address that. And again, I think one of my board members here said that there's a short-term and a long-term solution, and I don't know immediately what that short-term solution is, but that's something we're going to get to work on right away, and then find our way to a longer-term solution. Again, we are responsible for every kid, and we don't take that lightly. We're not successful unless every kid is successful. In this district, we use the term every student every day, and that's not just a catchphrase, that's how we live. So, again, I think we're going to get through this, and we're going to come up with a solution, and cool it up a little bit here, I think. So, Thank you all.
There has been a lot of talk tonight about the law, and as the attorney affirmed, 34 CFR 106.33 permits sex-separated bathrooms and locker rooms. So I don't see why it's so complicated. I think we can come up with a solution, and I'd like to have a motion to adopt board policy on student privacy in restrooms and locker rooms. Can I get a second?
Remember, the judge's decision is not the law. That's the truth.
Can I get a second to my motion?
What is the
What does
motion?
the policy say?
I can read it for you if you like. So the title is Motion to Adopt Board Policy in Student Privacy in Restrooms and Locker Rooms. Whereas the school district of New Richmond, the district, does not currently have an adopted policy addressing the use of opposite sex restrooms, locker rooms, or shower facilities. And whereas the district is committed to providing a safe, respectful, and lawful educational environment for all students, the Title IX of the Educational Amendment of 1972 and its implementing regulations expressly permit schools to maintain separate toilet, locker room, and shower facilities on the basis of sex, provided such facilities are comparable for students of each sex, 34 CFR 106.33. And whereas protecting bodily privacy in intimate settings is a legitimate and important interest recognized under federal law, and the board finds that establishing a policy governing student privacy in sex-separated facilities is consistent with law and necessary to guide staff and administration. Now, therefore, it is hereby moved that the school district of New Richmond Board of Education adopts the attached policy, student privacy in restrooms and locker rooms, effective immediately, to provide guidance on the use of sex-separate facilities and permissible individual accommodations, and direct the superintendent or designee to develop administrative procedures consistent with this policy. This would be a short-term solution that we can implement tonight, and then we can fix it and talk about it and work on it going forward for a more long-term permanent solution. Can I get a second to this motion?
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Marilyn, the only female on the board, you're not going to back me on this?
We have a question. Just go ahead.
And it wasn't exactly clear what he was saying.
It was perfectly clear.
Let the board deliberate, please. Go ahead, Greg.
Do we have a copy of that for everybody?
Can you reread part of that?
It was emailed to all of us.
That we should create a policy for protecting privacy and so on?
Yes. Read your email. Or tomorrow.
Your job being a dick.
Come on. Really? It says
What's the legal definition of
It is
sex?
in their emails if you want.
What you were born with? You didn't ask her opinion.
If you have
You didn't ask her.
no, she asked the state. It's just the lawyer's interpretation.
One problem is that I've been hospitalized and basically institutionalized for about 7 or 8 weeks due to multiple medical problems, and I have not read every email and so on.
Come on, guys. This ain't complicated.
This would show the town how serious you're not about fixing this issue.
You still have a motion with a motion.
They've created a hostile school environment, and that's what they got.
Let's not go too hard on the board. I think they got some poor legal counsel on this.
Need a new attorney. God, you got one vote for it.
That's coming.
Says action.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the policy that was placed in front of us. Motion is second. Is there any discussion, further discussion by the board members? I'll comment.
I don't have that right in front of me.
Pull up your email.
Read it once
Here, so for discussion, one thing that at least the board understands is that number one, this can't go into effect immediately because it requires 2 readings. All right, and so
So we're gonna have 2 readings, then we'll decide, is that correct?
the policy is we could adopt it, not honor the motion to review this policy because there is going to be it does need to be reviewed and it does have to go through 2 readings of the board. All right, so just to make that clear that if this does get approved tonight, that it's preliminary, it's not in effect until the board approves it. Second.
Let's talk timelines on that, please.
The next board meeting is on February 17th, which is next Monday. It will not be reviewed by next Monday, I can tell you that. All right?
Why not?
So, with that, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motor?
Policies require 2 readings, so yes, it won't.
And
Just keep the discussion on.
in the policy that's being presented, it says that it will be implemented immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what we said, it can't be.
Immediately.
Further discussion? Tim?
Yeah, I think no matter what direction we go in this, in any kind of a policy decision, there's going to be gigantic implications that we are going to have to defend one way or another. And I do not think it's wise to, I've heard red.
We already
I'm
have
not
a
ready.
let's vote.
Further discussion. Everybody is open for discussion right now.
All right.
Floor.
Yeah, so I have not had time to review this policy. I don't know the law that it's based off of. I don't know what our attorneys think because
Get a real attorney then.
Please, be respectful.
I believe that we do have a real attorney. And I think that any adoption of this policy immediately is going to be foolish for the district.
Let's be bold. Let's be bold.
Okay.
And, Kendall.
Yeah, I echo a little bit of what Tim just said. We just got presented this. I'm not even close to comfortable voting on this tonight. Even though it has to go through multiple readings, there's no way I could vote on this.
Maybe the board could take it under advisement. No action required.
It's already been seconded, you gotta vote on it.
We have to finish discussion. Thank you. I'm fully aware of that. Thank you. Anybody else have any comments, discussion? So there's a motion and a second to approve, to accept this policy, and it goes into effect immediately. So with that, I'm going to call a vote. All those in favor all those in favor of the motion as presented?
I'll suspend it.
Suspended, all those in favor? I'm sorry?
Amend immediately out of it.
Okay, go ahead.
That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
All right, so, board member, Engelhardt has rescinded the motion,
No, immediately.
correct?
Just Ben Engelhardt is a political player. Yes,
All right, please.
It's not a good look.
What's that? So you want- It's not suspended, okay. All right, so, he's now not rescinding the vote, or he's not rescinding the motion, so the motion stands as a motion and second to approve this as it stands. And so, at this point, all those in favor of accepting the policy as presented, acknowledge by raising your hand. Those opposed?
What's going on here? Is something suspended, or are we?
No, he rescinded, the motion was to accept this, and it goes into force immediately. The board recommended that you weren't comfortable with that, then he decided to rescind the motion, and then, which brought us back to the original proposal, saying, no, I want, the motion stands as it was originally presented, so I put it to a vote. And the vote is done. The motion does not pass. So Marilyn, I don't know if she.
I said I abstained because I haven't really read it. I heard part of it being read, but I abstained.
All right, so majority of still rules, 4 of the 7 voted against adoption of this policy. Gregor, you had a question?
Yes, well, I would make a new motion to say that we would accept this, not immediately, but following, after we vote on it, that it would be reviewed, and then it has to go through the standard policy approval system that we use.
Accepting the document to be subject to review by the board, is that your motion?
Yeah.
Or
What's the
you're
timeline
accepting
for that?
it? Is it
We
different?
have legal review, and then we have to go, once that's done, then to, it has to go through our policy meeting times, which I believe is 2 times, correct?
But that means we're either adopting this tonight, or it's being taken into consideration to be reviewed by legal, so that means there is no, doesn't need to be a motion. We can just say, the recommended action is that we take this under consideration, have it reviewed by legal, and if the board decides that they want to enact a policy, or they want to accept this, it would be presented to the board in a way of a first reading and a second reading.
You're gonna find a new
How about
way.
live streaming?
Go over it.
Is that?
When would we do the first reading?
Well, we haven't even adopted it, so it's just a document being submitted to us for consideration. So we're not formally, we've already said, the board has already voted and said, we are not adopting this policy as it was presented and as it stands. So, I'm gonna look at, Mick, are we okay taking this document as like an exhibit to consider without making any motion of accepting it in any way, shape, or form?
You could certainly do that. You could also make a motion to.
Thank you.
I said you could certainly do that. You're not obligated to make any motion to bring it under advisement or consideration. An alternative is you could make a motion.
Marilyn, our attorney speaking, hold on please.
Alternatively, you could make a motion
Look at it carefully.
to
Yeah, we start tonight.
take this as a preliminary draft and to run it through the regular process. Either way, it's going to do the same result. You're going to have, the multiple layers of review.
No, she does not.
That would have been the
I'm
motion.
a new lawyer.
The motion.
You guys
I
won't
would
sit
make
in those seats long.
Go ahead. I would make a motion to take this document as a preliminary draft and then follow our standard procedure on any policy.
We have a motion and a second to, the language, to receive this document for consideration and a draft, as a preliminary draft, for review and go through the normal processes for approval.
What are the timelines of the normal processes for all of us that don't know that?
Yeah, we don't want to wait another year.
Are we waiting 3 months for our girls to get a bathroom, or do we have to just do the private stall for 3 more months?
As we said, I can't tell you how long it's going to take. There's multiple layers of review. I can tell you with 2 readings, that's 2 board meetings, all right?
So what's that, 2 months then?
2 months.
So 2 months, to even just give an adoptable,
To get it-
short-term, here's a 30-day solution. We can't put together a small-term
No, this
solution?
is board, we have a motion and a second. So any discussion on the motion to accept this as a draft document for consideration to run through the normal process?
We voted on April 7th, so it's a good thing.
Ben seconded. We're just accepting this as a draft document to review.
Is there any
No.
provisions to help our girls until you guys make a decision? That's my question.
So we still have a motion and a second. So board members is everybody clear on what the motion is? The motion is to accept this document in draft form and to submit it through the normal processes of a review that we would normally go, right, for approval, review for approval.
So what do we do the next 2 months? This is great. What do we do the next 2 months?
So we have a motion second. Any further discussion? All right, those in favor of accepting this draft policy as a draft to be considered and reviewed and potentially go through the processes, the normal review process, those in favor of the motion do so by raising your approval. If you're in favor of the motion, raise your hand. What was, did we hear Maryland's? Those opposed? All right. The motion carries. So this draft document will be accepted in this draft form, and that is the matter at hand, and that's how we will proceed.
So now we'll figure out a short-term solution.
Yeah, short. We would love to give you time, but we want a solution.
The motion, there's not going to be a solution tonight. I believe the board voted already. We did not get a second on, no, we
It's
voted.
on the
there
agenda
was
for
a
the
motion.
17th, short-term
There's a motion.
solution.
Okay.
Yeah, put it on this agenda for the 17th.
Is that-
Short-term solution.
Yeah, so the vote was already had, where we are not changing the existing policy. It'll stay in effect. In the meantime, we've accepted this as a draft document to review, and we will move forward from there. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Agenda for the 17th.
No, I'd like to have a motion for the original agenda items I presented for the next February 17th meeting.
Yeah.
Which was, the first one was to get a short-term stop to this until we can figure it out. The second was an investigation to figure out how we got here. people deserve to
That is
know
taken-
started,
that's,
who authorized it, etc.
that's taken into consideration, your request is taken into consideration. With that, a motion to adjourn.
No, put on the.
Motion Melby, second.
I'll second.
Second Elkin, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. This meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody.